Good morning, students. Myself Saboni Dhara, and today I'm going to teach you economics. Chapter number 3, Poverty a Challenge. In this particular chapter, I will going to teach you 2 points, 2 sub-points, which is really very important for you all to know about it. The very first one is poverty line, and the another one is poverty estimates. So students, now we will going to start with a topic, poverty line. So what do you mean by poverty first? Poverty means when an individual is not getting their basic needs, when they are not able to fulfill the basic needs. Basic needs means food, clothing, shelter and education. These 4 are very much important. If a person is not fulfilling among these 4 things, it means they are in the poverty line. They are called as poor. If they don't have the food to eat on a regular basis, into different intervals in a day, if a person is unable to stay under some or the other shelter, if that person is just staying on the road without any shelter, if a person doesn't have clothes to wear, enough clothes to wear, from irrespective of different kinds of conditions or climatic conditions, etc. If a person is not educated enough, basic formal education is not there. So among these 4 different things, if it is not fulfilled, that person is under poverty, comes under poverty. So this is very much important for you all to understand the meaning of poverty. If a person considered poor, if his or her income or consumption level falls below a given minimum level necessary to fulfill the basic needs. The basic needs is, as I said before also, basic needs is all about food, clothing, shelter and education. If they are not fulfilled those needs, basic needs, fundamental basic needs, then those are called as they are not coming into a proper way. They are coming or fallen under the poverty line. A person is considered poor if his or her income or consumption level falls below a given minimum level necessary to fulfill the basic needs. Therefore, poverty line may vary with the time and the place. Each country uses an imaginary line that is considered appropriate for its existing level of development and its accepted minimum social norms. Say for example, a person not having a car in the United States may be considered poor. But on the other hand, in India, owning of a car is still considered a luxury. While determining the poverty line in India, a minimum level of food requirement, clothing, footwear, fuel and light, educational and medical requirement, etc. are determined for subsistence. These physical quantities are multiplied by their prices in rupees. The present formula for food requirement while estimating the poverty line is based on the desired calories required. So, if we were going to take it like the calories needed It is totally depend on the age. It is totally depend upon the age. It is totally depend upon the age, sex, and the type of work that a person is doing. So, the accepted average calories requirement in India is 2400 calories per person per day in rural areas and 2100 calories per person per day in urban areas. Since people living in rural areas engage themselves in more physical work, calories requirements in the rural areas are considered to be higher because they deal with the physical work and they are not dealing with the mental work or mental stress. But on the other hand, the urban areas, they should have the requirement approximately 2100 calories per person per day. Why is it so? Because they have less physical work as compared to rural areas. On the basis of the calculation for the year 2011 and 12, it has been noticed that a person was fixed at rupees 816 per month for rural areas and rupees 1000 for urban areas. So this was about the poverty line. Now, I would like to draw the attention on the poverty estimation, my next topic towards this. Students, now we will going to draw your attention towards the poverty estimation. How to estimate poverty. So, before explaining this, I would like to show you one table on the screen which will help you to know how to estimate the poverty line. So, let's see on the screen. Here, as you can see on the screen, there are 4 years. 4 different years is taken. That is 1993 to 94, 2004 and 2005, 2009 and 10, and 2011 and 12. So these 4 years are there on which you will get rural, urban and the total columns. On the other hand, number of poor in millions it is calculated with the combination of rural and urban. So before observing this particular table, I would draw your attention towards the numbers which is mentioned on the table. Okay, just observe first. That is, in the year of 1993 to 94, the rural, they were estimated only 507, wherein in urban it was just 32. Total it was in the percentage 45%. So, with this, if we will compare these figures with the coming next year, that is 2004 and 5, in rural areas it is only 42 and in urban areas it is 26. And with the combination, that is totaling, it is 37. In the next year 2009 and 10, it is showing 34 and urban 21, total 13. And in the year 2011 and 12, rural shows 26 and urban shows 14, together 22. So as you can see and assume that after watching and studying this particular table, it has been concluded that from 1993 to 94, the poverty measurement estimation of the poverty has been drastically coming low, and in the coming few couple of years it is estimated that it may comes more low. So coming towards the table, studies, as you can see on the table again, substantial decline in the poverty ratio in India from about 45% in 1993 to 94 to 37.2% in 2004 and 5. The proportion of the people below the poverty line further came down about 22% in 2011 to 2012. So if the trends continues, people below poverty line may comes down to less than 20% in the next few years as well, as we have discussed with just now. So although the percentage of the people living under the poverty declined in the earlier 2 decades, that is 1973 to 1993, the number of poor declines from 407 millions in 2004 to 5 to 270 millions in 2011 and 12, with an average annual decline of 2.2% points during 2004 and 5 to 2011 and 12. So with this, we can conclude the estimations of the poverty. And this is only the way to estimate the poverty and the poverty line in the country.
So some recommendations are there. Elaboration of a national strategy for rural development with the aim of halting the mechanisms that generate regional disparities. Promotion of decentralization of private sector economic activity, including a more balanced distribution of financial resources for investments. Promotion of agriculture and agro-industrial industries based on domestic agricultural output. Prompt intervention through local development programs in the more deprived areas. So these all are the recommendations, first most important recommendation, students. Another, formulation of a comprehensive housing policy which takes into account the elements mentioned above. The avoid of the ready-made and standard solution in dealing with housing problems and designing specific problem interventions. Drawing up special policy interventions to govern the standing contractual relationship between the tenants and the owners, since the beneficiaries from the extension of such contracts are the tenants. Interventions and special programs in favor of young people seeking to set up new and independent households. Differentiation of the interventions and the programs as between rural and urban settlings. Designing special programs to improve the specification of the dwelling and its area in the case of deprived household. Gradual expansion of the absorptive capacity of public schools in the context of a comprehensive strategy to achieve free and mandatory basic education. Improvement of the quality of education programs and teaching methods, and strengthening the link between the output of the education system and labor market needs. Bring together programs designed to reduce school drop out at the elementary and intermediate levels and illiteracy eradication programs in regions where such action is needed. Increase the number of free kindergartens in the public and civil sectors. So students, these all are the recommendations where we can go ahead for the eradication of poverty and poverty line. The another one is to adoption of measures to create an environment conducive to the establishment and growth of small and medium enterprise, that is loans and banking facilities, discount, legislative incentives, etc. Modernization and expansion of the scope of vocational rehabilitations and training. And on the other hand, promotion of income generating projects. So these all are the basic recommendations which is required our country for the reduction or for the eradication of the poverty from our India. from our country. So students, these all are my recommendations. You can also establish your own.
So I hope so you understood the criterias, how to study this particular things. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thanks a lot. Wear your mask. Take care of yourself and your family. Keep a social distancing. Thanks. Bye-bye.